All right, how about a nice welcome for Jack?
I will play some music, but not right away. Everybody knows, I think most of you know that three best subjects to talk about is religion, sex, and politics, right? Especially when you're right, as opposed to most people who are wrong. They just have to be told how it is. Now, I don't know if you noticed that about 6 months ago, there was an article, I believe it was that newspaper, Chris's Bulletin, saying that 57% of high school students in the state of New Mexico will not be able to graduate. And then somebody added they will not be able to graduate because they cannot read and write enough to take a test. Now, Director of Board of Education, about a week later, she published a little article that straightened it all up. It was horrifying news, 57%. She says it's absolutely not true. There was mistaken count. Only 51% of students in the state of New Mexico cannot graduate because they cannot read and write. I think most of us were relieved. Except for Susana Martinez. See, Susana Martinez decided to get serious about this subject and solve the problem. Now, if she listened to me, I would tell her how one of the greatest politicians of all the time solved that same problem when he had a problem. See, in late 40s, early 50s, Russia had an extremely high number of illiterates, and Joseph Stalin, who was very proud of his country, he decided to solve the problem, so he did. He asked all the illiterates to register and promised them that they will solve the problem. After they registered, he sent them all to Siberia, and he solved it. What's even funnier, that's a true story. Not only the number of illiterates dropped drastically, there was a desperate need of workers in diamond mines in Siberia. That problem got solved. And then one more that you can witness today. You might not be aware of it, but until today, the parts of used to be Russia, I still have a lot smaller number of illiterates than the United States. Oh, not even talking about New Mexico. And the reason is very simple. You remember Uncle Sasha, son? Remember Uncle Sasha? No, you don't remember him because he's not here. Because he didn't want to learn how to read and write. That's why he's digging diamonds in Siberia. There's a book. That method has worked, but Susana Martinez, she either doesn't know that story, or, I don't know, maybe she just wasn't sober long enough to hear that story. So she came up with a lot better idea, and, you know, as a responsible citizen of this state, we should support her ideas, whether we like her or not. Now, her idea is not to allow anybody who cannot read and write to graduate from a 3rd grade. Well, this is a good idea. I mean, it certainly in some ways will work. I mean, at least we won't have guys trying to graduate from high school without being able to read and write. But obviously there are problems. I think you already know what the problems are. First of all, the size of a 3rd grade. We need a lot larger classrooms to accommodate. That's one problem. Other problems. You know, when they are in 3rd grade, then they can only learn what 3rd grade is teaching, right? And what 3rd grade is teaching, I like music. I think most of the people like music here. And see, 3rd grade, they are teaching how to play recorder, right? Especially when you're in a 3rd grade /3. That's a 3rd grade /3, kids are playing recorder. Now the kids that are going into 3rd grade /4, they might be getting a little bit bored of this recorder, or they can Alright. Now, 3rd grade /5. Now, I'm going to stay out of the subject. Where else we could possibly play is the recorder and play some cool the hands are growing. At first, those hands were good enough to steal candy from a convenience store. Then they got big enough to steal the case of beer from a convenience store. Now they are getting big enough to steal next door neighbor's car. However, the code is still the same size. And we can't change instruments. We can't even teach them how to play trombone simply because a third grade is a third grade. However, this is model 3/5. 3/5, hands are bigger. Oh, something like that, okay? Then 3/5, 3/6. How many of them are there to go? I believe this is the longest year in a high school student in the state of New Mexico. 5 years of a third grade. Is it so? Finally comes like a 3/6 and 3/7. Hands get bigger. Recorder is still a recorder. Well, interests are changing. I think they are still robbing convenience stores, but they are not stealing beer anymore. Now they are just taking cash. Oops. See, I didn't do this. I did not graduate from my class. And so on. I think you got that. This is a wonderful one. However, the day of graduation is coming. Would you like to see your son to come to the graduation and play music on something like this? This is too much of a record. You know what? The name recorder. Why do they call it recorder? Did you ever see anybody recording anything on one of those things? In Hollywood, do they record a lot of stuff with recorders? In Europe, they don't call them recorders. It's even more confusing. They call them straight flute. Like, what's the other stuff? Gay flute? Straight flute? This instrument never really had much art to names. What do you think I'm going to come out with now? Well, you're right. Yeah, there is one more. This is a big one. This one is so big one, it even has one of those hooks, you know, like a saxophone you can hang it on.
Jack, I have to follow your commentary, with apologies to our friends from El Paso, but we are in New Mexico after all. You know what's long and hard on a Texan?
The third grade.
Third grade, exactly right. There's Jack Rocasio. If you need to be on our mailing list for the email, this is the guy to see.